Andrea, congratulations. Your abstract is among the best abstracts of this year's ERA-EDTA Congress. You developed a core outcome set for trials in hemodialysis. Can you tell us about this?
Sure. Thank you, first of all. And so the SONG initiative stands for Standardized Outcomes in Nephrology, is an international initiative, and it aims to establish core outcomes for the whole spectrum of kidney disease based on the shared priorities of patients, clinicians, researchers, industry, regulatory body, to really inform our research in a meaningful way. And my abstract is about the process in hemodialysis, whereby we developed a core outcome set of standardized outcome measures for trials in hemodialysis to be implemented in all hemodialysis trials in the future, so that we can be sure that we measure outcomes in a consistent and standardized way that are relevant to patients and their family, as well as clinicians. And the SONG initiative follows a very long and multi-step evidence and consensus-based process involving all stakeholders, so patients, clinicians, and caregivers, as well as the researchers and policymakers. And we've involved over 1,300 participants in the process of establishing these core outcomes. And we always start off with a systematic review of the literature, and we then perform focus groups with nominal group technique with patients and caregivers to find out what outcomes matter to them in a specific area, such as hemodialysis. And we also perform interviews with clinicians and researchers, and we then populate a survey, a so-called Delphi survey, which is a multi-round. We use a 3-round survey, which is delivered online or in paper form, to find out what participants would prioritize in terms of outcomes. And we've performed this survey around the world. We've involved over 70 different countries, and we were then able to shortlist outcomes, and we took them to a consensus workshop almost 2 years ago now. And the core outcomes for hemodialysis were vascular access problems, cardiovascular disease, fatigue, and mortality. But they're very broad categories, and we then followed a very similar process again to really come down with one single outcome measure for each of these domains that are considered the most important. And based on work of my team, we have come down with a 3-item questionnaire for fatigue, which is currently being validated against existing tools for fatigue. We've got an outcome measure for vascular access. We've got myocardial infarction and sudden cardiac death as being the most important outcomes for cardiovascular disease and all-cause mortality. And in the next few months, I would hope, we will be able to come up with a definite list of how to measure these outcomes.
Wow, that sounds fantastic. You came, when you received the best abstract, you also received a grant, and you came here over to Copenhagen. So have you enjoyed the Congress so far, and would you advise other or encourage other young nephrologists to hand in an abstract for the next ERA-EDTA Congress?
Well, yes. Thanks to this travel grant, I actually am here, because it's very difficult when you do a research degree. I'm currently doing a PhD to afford travel overseas. I'm coming from Australia, so I'm very grateful that I had the support to come here, and I would definitely encourage all the young nephrologists and researchers to submit abstracts, because it's not only our future, these researchers and nephrologists, but it's also a great opportunity. And I've really enjoyed the conference so far. My highlight is always the late-breaking trial session. It was fantastic this year, so thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you so much.